Hey everybody, if you're wondering about your future husband, let's talk about your relationships. My goal is to not only give you more insight on your relationships, but create stronger queer relationships throughout our community. My goal is to lift our queer relationships so that we have a stronger queer community. So let's talk about that. What do you need to know outside of Scruff, Grinder, Tinder about your future husband to be? So what I'm going to do is lay out three piles. I'm going to get these shuffled up real quick. I'm going to lay out three piles, and you're going to choose one, pile A, B, or C. And then I'm going to tell you more about who this future husband is and and kind of things you may not know right away, but you can know right now. All right, so we're almost there. Almost got a good shuffle here. All right, here we go. Pile A, pile B, pile C. Okay, so you pick a pile. I'm going to walk through each one, and I'm going to give you the insight you need on these traits and these shadows about who this future husband is. So let's start with pile A. First, we're going to talk about traits you can expect for this future husband. Ooh, this is Newt. She's the mother of swords. This future husband is, while caring, while doting, isn't very expressive of his emotions. He holds them back. He has the ability to create not only a strong and what do I want to say, a strong and linear future, meaning it's progressive, it's laid out, there's a plan, but he he just doesn't share a lot of his emotional state, like what he's feeling. He may share what he's thinking, but he doesn't necessarily share what he's feeling. And so you may have to struggle with having an emotional connection and rely on having a mental connection. All right. What is the shadow side of this person? What do we need to know that we probably wouldn't find out until later? Brahma, this is the father of wands. So this person is already a natural leader. They're someone who works well as a couple, someone who has a really inspired side to them, but you may not see it because they're a little embarrassed to say that they have the experience that they have. So they, for example, it's kind of like they might feel like they're bragging if they talk about how good they are or how much training they've had. So they'll hold back on that. They they then, in essence, are holding back on all of the things that are amazing about themselves because they feel like it's putting too much out there, um, and they may seem presumptuous. They prefer to work in the background. Not surprising with this kind of thing too. But they're just naturally seen. They're naturally leaders. They're naturally in front of other people. So you'd probably see them like out in front of other people as a leader. Like for example, at work, they'd be a manager or a director, or could even be part of an executive team. You would recognize them as a leader whose team appreciates them, likes them, wants to work for them. And there's someone who thinks about the bigger picture all the time. They don't get lost in details, though they require details in order to make the best decision. So they need someone who can think in detail. All right, so that's A. Let's take a look at B. What traits do we have for husband B? Ooh, husband B is the lover. Husband B is good at the day-to-day things, like making dinner, and it's the dinner that you love. Like I love it, for example, when my husband Steve, makes me the stewed pork chop thing. It's really, really good. I don't know why it's so good, but it is. And I love pork chops anyway. And when he makes it, it's yummy. But it's those little things that we recognized, it's those little things that we recognize day to day that people hear us, know us, care for us, and love us. So this person, this husband to be, is is in the day-to-day act of love. You might find flowers at home. If there's a food you like, that food is being made for dinner. If there is something that needs to be remembered that's special to you, like a date, like a birthday or an anniversary, they're going to remember it. All right. What are the things you won't know right away that you need to know? The old man, is the father of stones. You need to know this guy's probably going to want to be a homebody. He's going to want to stay home. He's going to want to hang out and watch TV and eat really, really good food. He loves family life. He probably has a strong relationship with his family, whether it's chosen or blood. And he has a spiritual side. So I would find out more about his spiritual side, because it is the spiritual side that helps him have these strong, strong relationships. It's not only with his family, but with his husband, partner, boyfriend, whatever. So uh, this guy is also someone who you might realize, if you don't have the same views on how to care for the environment, on recycling, on taking care of the world around you, then your relationship is probably going to have some challenges. You're going to want to recognize, if you're with this person, that they are the type of person that's going to fight you over recycling, um, and taking care of the planet and the environment. They also are probably an animal lover. If they don't already have pets, they'll want pets. And it's entirely possible that this husband to be will want to start a family, uh, though they can be just as happy in a relationship that is only a couple. All right, that's husband B. Let's take a look at husband C. All right, ready? Husband C. Ooh, husband C. I said that like it's something bad. Husband C is someone who is on point, decisive, is able to cut clear through things that are messy and scary, things that seem to be confusing. This is probably someone, if you know some Aries in your life, this is probably someone that's an Aries. They're pretty clear cut about a lot of the things in their lives. They know how they want things to go and how things should be, and they're happy to tell you about it. It's one of the things I appreciate about Aries. I also have an Aries rising, so it is part of my life. We have to learn how to temper what we say. One of the challenges you may find is that they also tend to be in a bit of a whirlwind, and things are spinning around them all the time. So that's the traits, characteristics we may find. But what is the stuff you don't get to see right away? Three of Cups, they have a really large social group. It may be, if you're not used to someone having a lot of friends, strong relationships outside of a relationship, and wanting to be with those friends, and you're someone who gets jealous really easily, you may find that these relationships, these friend relationships, drive you a bit batty, but they're important to him. He needs them. He needs them to be sane, to have a sense of um, his own friendship group, his own chosen family. And those need to be, while somewhat integrated into a relationship, they need to be his. They are his to manage and maintain. It's healthy to have friendships outside of a relationship, and he knows that, and he wants to keep that option available. What you'll also notice is that in these cards, you see these two little mountains, one here and one here. I think that's interesting. Um, One, because this one is very pointed in the unknown, and this one is kind of run down in the known. I think that he likes to seem more experienced than he actually is. So you might find, while he's not telling lies, he may exaggerate the truth a little bit in his experience where he's been. This is probably more in the line of other relationships versus something like sexuality or work. So that's husband C. I hope this is helpful in knowing more about these husbands to be that are coming up in February. If you haven't already, check out the new moon readings that I did, or the full moon readings that I did, so you can find out more about, by your sun sign, what is coming up this full moon, February, what is it?